got the Minister for Department of Education and Children, Graham Cregeen. Of course, we were seeing a lot of you at Gotland, the games.
Yes.
We were trying to talk to you, but it was a bit crazy over there. Should we do that first of all? A little bit of chit-chat going on, like why are you being sent to these sort of things, you and your head man? I mean, what's your views on this?
Well, part of what we were out there for is pitching for the Isle of Man to take the games back here. So what we did was we put a proposal to the International Island Games Association about the Isle of Man hosting it in the future, and hopefully come the spring we'll be confirmed what date we've actually got. And one of the things is that it is beneficial to the Isle of Man. You know, there's a bit of income that comes in by bringing those people over, but it also gives all our athletes the opportunity to perform at home.
Okay, this is a bit of news in the sense of officially saying that we are now pitching for it again. I mean, that's something that it's the home of the place, of course, but we've done it quite a few times. But you see that this is an important thing to get again.
It is, and it gives all our athletes the opportunity to perform at home in front of all their friends, family, and for the Isle of Man to actually show itself as a great sporting nation.
Is there a will and a want these days to have it? Because obviously when everything was great, everyone seemed to be wanting to have the games. There's been people cancelling them recently and that sort of thing. Things have scaled back possibly as well. Do you think that there's a danger of this thing being every 2 years is probably too much?
No, I don't. I think one of the issues has been is that some of the nations that pitched for it didn't have the facilities, and with the financial situation they were unable to actually build the facilities they required. The Isle of Man has all those facilities, so to actually host the games ourselves again is actually not going to cost us anything as in infrastructure costs. So for us, it's one of those things that by having all those facilities and the investment in the past, that we can actually put on the games at a minimal cost. But there will be a great benefit to the Isle of Man financially and also status-wise.
Have we got the space to put those many people up here?
We do, and there's development of additional bedrooms at the Mount Murray. There's also talk about hotels in Douglas, even in the north of the island, and also in the south. So there's lots of accommodation. We accommodate 40,000 visitors in TT fortnight. Right. So the 4,000 or 5,000 visitors that you might get for the Island Games, I'm sure we can cope with.
I don't know if you went to Jersey, but I mean it was a big grand thing. It felt smaller in Gotland, probably more back to its roots in a nice way, I thought.
Yes, it was a fantastic games. I think when you go across all the teams there, they really did bond as a team. The Isle of Man team did absolutely fantastic. I was at a lot of the events there, and they bonded so well. They all came in it together, and I think that was a great thing about where they were actually based, was it bonded them as a team.
Okay, well I saw a lot of your counterparts from other jurisdictions, Jersey and Guernsey particularly, I saw there. This thing still, people don't quite get it, and I question it. Your title seems to be indifferent to what sport. You don't have sport in your title. Why have you got this in your portfolio?
Well, the thing is, sport is in the portfolio, and of course...
Well, yeah, but it doesn't say it.
It doesn't, and I think that was one of the naming issues with when they did the reorganisations of the department. It actually doesn't say what the department does. And when you go representing sport or culture in other jurisdictions, they do actually question why is the Minister of Education here.
You've had that problem?
Yes, and I think Tim Krugel had the same issue as well. It was when he was going places, it was, well, you're the Minister of Education. So we really need to have a look at...
I'm hearing rumours that there could be a few department changes names. You want to comment on that?
Well, there may be, but I think one of the things that we really need to look at is if we do go and change the name to encompass sport and culture, which is the other part of the department that we do, that it will be clearer. But I wouldn't support actually going around changing the names on all the schools to say
ahead and everything else.
Yeah, and we don't need to do that. And I think if you go around the schools now, some of the signs outside the schools are still saying the Department of Education. It doesn't say Department of Education and Children. But also out in Gotland, we actually were talking to their member for culture, because we were saying there's other things that we can do on a cultural level. I also went over and looked at their preschools, because that's a big thing that we're looking at now, is their preschool. Now they do preschool 1 to 7. Now it's totally different to what we're doing. I also looked at how they deal with special needs. Now
they're a high taxing jurisdiction, of course. You appreciate that there's a difference, isn't there, with what money they must have to spend.
And the interesting thing was that their teachers are actually paid less than ours, and they've got the same trouble as all other islands as recruiting people. But the thing that we had in our census was it was showing that children between the age of 20 and 29 were leaving the island, our island, and not coming back possibly until they were 30. Well, the jurisdictions I spoke to, they've all got the similar sort of problem. And that's been the interesting thing about talking to other jurisdictions. And there was ministers from other jurisdictions. You had 24 island representatives there, and some of them sent over about 8 or 9.
So 3,000 was a good deal, was it?
Well, £1,500 a head,
right,
and out there. And if we get confirmed as hosting the games in the future, that's got a multi-million pound benefit to the economy.
I'm just trying to think. Okay, we've got Gibraltar. Is anyone in the horizon in the frame after Gibraltar?
Well, you've got Gibraltar.
That's 19.
Then you've got Guernsey in 21.
So we're looking at 23.
Then you've got Orkney.
Oh, that's already in. Okay. So 25.
Yeah,
that's the one you want.
So it's 25, 27, which we're actually looking for. They've got Innismarn down for 25, but they've still got to firm up their facilities. But what we've said is, when we will step in if somebody can't actually provide the facilities there. So we're not trying to take it off anybody, but we honestly believe that by keeping these islands together, the sports together, it's actually benefiting all our young people into sport.
On that, the legacy, the National Sports Centre, Alan Bell's sort of legacy, is that to do with how we're doing so well? I mean, we've got all the facilities we need, or is there more to be had?
Well, when you go to, and you'll have got this when you're out there, there'll be people pitching for, well, if we had a bigger pitch, if we had a bigger swimming pool, if we had this. And yes, if there's a opportunity and if there's a finance, yes, we would like to have more. But we've all got to fit it in within our budget.
As soon as you get the games, you'll be going for, whoever's running the time will look for some money to spend?
No, because what we've said is, if we were to get the games, we have the facilities here. And what I've said to some of the sports is that if you're wanting to improve the facilities, then you're going to have to assist us in actually getting that money if you want to assist. It's not a case of the government is going to come in all the time and put brand new facilities there. You've got to work with us if we're going to put anything new as part of a programme. Okay.
Finally, is there going to be some sort of celebration for the team? I mean, coming first, all that. I assume the government's doing something.
We are. We're actually going to put on an event up at Government House, so that the athletes will go up to Government House and meet the governor. So the government's actually looking at doing that. We're also actually going to talk out to the sports themselves to see if there is another event that we can do. But we want to make sure that they're able to turn up, because the last thing we really want is actually to put an event on and then you get maybe 50 to 100 people turning up, and it looks a bit...
Government House is one thing, it's very, very respectful. You want something like the Villa Marina or something, do you mean?
Well, or what we could do is we could actually put something on at the NSC.
Oh, yeah.
So if we put on an event at the NSC, but I want to make sure that all the sports will be able to represent themselves.
In the next month or two, we're going to have...
Well, that's what we're looking. We're going to be dealing with that.